Welcome back. There are new signs the Republican Party is at risk not only of losing the presidential race, but also the U.S. Senate. Take a closer look. Polling of the Senate race in New Hampshire shows the state's Democratic governor, Maggie Hassan, 8 points ahead of Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte. In response, a GOP group is out with a new ad pushing voters to re-elect their GOP senator as a check and balance on what could very well be a Clinton White House. Watch this.
America's future is far from certain, but no matter who the next president is, New Hampshire needs a strong voice in the U.S. Senate. That Senator, Kelly Ayotte. She works across the aisle to get things done.
Our chief political correspondent, Dana Bash, is with us. Our senior political reporter, Manu Raju, has the latest on all of this. Dana, you've been doing a lot of reporting on this. How worried are Republicans about those so-called down-ballot races? Do you expect ads like this to start appearing elsewhere?
Yes, they are worried, and yes, that is the hope. When I was talking to a source who helped get that ad that you just played on the air starting today in New Hampshire, it was explicitly with the hope that other like-minded conservative groups, more establishment-oriented Republican groups, like the Chamber of Commerce, will turn their attention and, more importantly, their resources towards the Senate exclusively. Now, that is effectively what has been going on with regard to money, but message is the difference here. And that's what made that ad that you just played different from what we've seen, in that it makes pretty clear that this Republican group believes Hillary Clinton is likely to be in the White House. And the message to voters is, you want to keep your Republican senator, in this case Kelly Ayotte, in, and you want to keep a Republican majority as a check and balance on a Hillary Clinton White House. The goal, again, by the Chamber of Commerce is not just New Hampshire, but to try to send a signal to other like-minded groups, even candidates themselves, to perhaps start to say explicitly, we're not going to win the White House, you got to elect me.
What other states, Manu, are we seeing very tight Senate races emerging?
Well, assuming that Hillary Clinton wins, Democrats need to pick up 4 seats to take back the majority, Wolf. And they have a lot of opportunities. You're expecting them probably to win in Illinois and Wisconsin. Those are 2 off the map right now. Dana was talking about New Hampshire, but also Pennsylvania, another very tight race that could go the other way. And you're looking at 3 red states that are going to be critical, that Republicans now hold, that Democrats have a chance, serious chance of winning, in North Carolina, Indiana, Missouri. Those can easily flip. And the Republicans really only have one pickup opportunity, and that is in Nevada. Harry Reid's seat is a toss-up right now between the Republican Congressman Joe Heck and the Democrat Catherine Cortez Masto. So the Democrats have a very good shot, just because they have so many opportunities. And if Donald Trump continues to slide and loses in some of those states by a significant margin, it's going to be very hard for the Republicans to run significantly ahead of the top of the ticket. That's why Donald Trump's performance is so critical for the Republicans in keeping the majority in Congress.
And Manu, Mark Kirk in Illinois, a Republican senator, he's got a lot of problems potentially as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. He's probably one that is viewed as very likely to lose his seat, but he is still maintaining has an outside chance. Republicans believe that perhaps he could survive if the Democratic candidate Tammy Duckworth underperforms. But when you look at the landscape overall, Illinois is viewed as was almost very, very likely to flip, just because it is so difficult for a Republican to win in a blue state like Illinois in a presidential election year, and there's no outside money going in to help Mark Kirk right now. So that's going to be very hard for him to win back. That's one of the 4 that Democrats are assuming that they will pick up in taking back the majority.
And if they get a 50-50 split in the U.S. Senate, if there's a Democratic president, a Democratic vice president, the vice president is the president of the U.S. Senate, and presumably he will cast that tie-breaking vote in favor of the Democrats would be in the majority. Dana, a number of reliably red states are also turning into so-called toss-up states this election. CNN analysis of some early voting results shows that 2 in particular, we're talking about Arizona and Utah, are looking relatively promising for Democrats. That's pretty extraordinary, isn't it?
It is, and some of these red states, if we keep the map up, are potentially toss-ups for very different reasons. Utah is because Utah is largely Mormon. That is not Trump territory at all. And the Mormon Republicans that were already on board with Donald Trump pretty much left in a mass exodus after the tape came out of him saying what he said on Access Hollywood. That combined with the fact that there's a third-party candidate there, Evan McMullen, who is a Mormon himself, who has been running hard there. The Clinton campaign thinks that he actually could win that state and rob those electoral votes from Donald Trump. And then if you look at Arizona, there's a different reason that it is perhaps competitive. The fact that Michelle Obama was sent there yesterday tells you everything you need to know. The main reason there is because of the demographic changes. It is a growing Hispanic population there, and a lot of young people also, and older people for that matter. But the Democrats think that it is more ripe demographically than others. And the one thing I will say that has really surprised me, Georgia. Georgia is a state that nobody even thinks about on the presidential level. It is reliably red, and Republicans who I'm talking to are very concerned that that red state could actually flip for the Democrats this year.
And Manu, I know you're well plugged in with members of the House and the Senate. It's pretty extraordinary, isn't it, that the Republican leaders in the House of Representatives, the Speaker Paul Ryan, and the Senate Mitch McConnell, the Majority Leader, they have been both pretty silent when it comes to the Trump campaign, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're just in such a bind right now over Donald Trump, particularly Paul Ryan. The way he's handled this for months just shows exactly the predicament that he's in. The challenge for Ryan right now is that he, of course, came out and said that he told his colleagues that he would not defend Donald Trump in the aftermath of the release of that Access Hollywood tape. But he has not spoken out publicly against Donald Trump because he does not want to get backlash from the right. But Ryan is in a difficult spot because if you get right after the elections, if they do keep the majority, it's going to be a narrow majority. They're going to have a vote on the floor of the House in order for him to be reelected as Speaker, and he cannot afford to lose many votes, particularly conservative votes, because conservatives could be more powerful in the next House Republican conference as more moderates lose their seats. So Paul Ryan in a difficult spot because as he speaks out against Donald Trump or does not campaign with Donald Trump, a lot of conservatives are not happy with him and are threatening to vote against him, which is one reason why he has been silent about Donald Trump over the last couple of weeks, and I'm not sure if he's going to say anything about him before Election Day, Wolf.
I've been calling it the sounds of silence, as quoting somebody else. All right, guys, thanks very much, Manu.